Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Discriminating Gamer. I was arguing with a bear when he started to turn white. Clearly, the issue was polarizing. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to go ahead and take a look at Battle Group VR for the MetaQuest 3 from Space Owl. In Battle Group VR for the MetaQuest 3 from Space Owl, the player takes on the role as an admiral of a mercenary fleet as he's attempting to fulfill his missions and gain more money as he engages in this real-time space strategy game. Now, essentially, you can play this game in different ways. There's a skirmish mode, but you play the grand campaign, you start off with one ship. But as you start to win missions, you gain more money, you can buy more ships, you can buy more captains, you can buy more mods and upgrades, and you can command a fleet of, I believe, up to 12 ships. Now, what you're doing over the course of this game, though, is you leap into a system, you jump into a system, warp into a system, and once you're there, you'll be given instructions on what your objectives are. Now, a lot of the time, your fleet will be present, and you'll just notice some readings of ships, but you can't tell exactly what they are or exactly where they are in the distance. As you approach them, your sensors will kick in, you'll start to see what they are. Now, the game map here is essentially three-dimensional, but critically, you are on the bridge of your flagship. So you have giant windows, you can actually see space around you, but in front of you, you have this three-dimensional representation of where your ships are and where the enemy is. Now, you can order your ships, of course, with your controllers. You can kind of drag them to exactly where you want them to fly to in this three-dimensional space. But you also have voice commands. You can tell them things like all units power to engines, all units power to shields, all units power to weapons. You can also individually order individual units. Blue 10, attack red 3. So you can do things like that just with voice commands. So it's a kind of the integration of both voice commands and your controllers as you're moving around. You can expand the battlefield, you can concentrate it, you can go in on various ships and give them specific instructions. Many of the ships also have specific weapons systems or defensive systems that you can activate. Each ship has supply, and supply is kind of like ammunition, but it allows you to activate all these different weapon systems, and that will tick down, that will run down. It is finite. Some ships, of course, have fighters or bombers they can launch, and they can send after the enemy as well. And the enemy ships, of course, are coming after you, and it's bloody. Each ship has 4 shield areas, a front, a back, a left, and a right. And as you are fighting, you can order ships. If you see some of their shields collapsing on one side, turn right, turn left, and then that side can bear the brunt of the attack. But you're essentially, as I say, going after your enemy in order to fulfill these objectives. And as the battle is playing out, it's real time, so you have to be Johnny on the spot, looking at all the different ships that you've got, clicking on them, making sure they're not taking too much damage, making sure they're maximizing the use of all those weapon systems that they have. Now, as soon as you fulfill your objective, or don't, you can warp out of the system once the combat is over. Now, when you leave the system, you have a choice. You can do another mission. Eventually, you'll be able to go to kind of a place where you can repair your damage and resupply for a cost. Or you can go back to your home. Now, if you go home, you resupply and refit at no cost. But when you go back home, any bonuses you get for remaining out at space, you lose, because you kind of accrue more and more money the longer you stay out there. But when you do return, you will have, as I say, options to buy new ships and other goodies. But credits are not the only currency in the game. There's also tech that's discarded by destroyed ships. So when you're in a battle and you see ships have been destroyed, they will leave behind kind of little tech chips, and you can move your ships to claim those upgrades. When you get back, you can use those upgrades to unlock new ship slots or to unlock new technologies that then, of course, you can buy and equip on your ships. The campaign is through 12 missions, I believe. As I say, there are a few other modes of playing this game, but as you're going through, you're attempting to fulfill the specific objectives, and if you can do that, if you can fulfill the specific objectives of each scenario, then you win! Battle Group VR. We'll get back to the review in just a moment. I want to take a minute to ask you to check out my other channel, that is Cody Carlson, PhD, where we talk about history, books on history, military history. I even post some of my lectures for my classes on there. Please check that out. Please subscribe to that channel. And now, back to the review. Okay, so this is a game that I've been playing a lot recently. This is really good. It's a lot of fun. It puts you right in the middle of a space battle. And what's so cool is, as you are kind of paying attention to the hologram representations of your ships and your enemies, and you're ordering them around and moving them around, you can actually look up out your windows and see the battle taking place above you, which is really, really cool. You can also kind of leave your ship and kind of get a more kind of outside view of how the battle is progressing as well. And it's great seeing the battle from that point of view. Beautiful ships, beautiful space combat here. Now, I should point out too, the story that goes through the campaign is kind of hokey. Yeah, I mean, the voice acting is fine, but some of the writing is kind of okay, whatever. It's fine. But still, you kind of get dragged into it. Now, what's interesting too is, as you're progressing through the campaign, you may come into a point where you just take damage and you lose ships and you can't go to the next. You're not powerful enough to go to the next mission. So you can actually go back to previous missions. And when you go back to previous missions, you have to end up, you're fighting the same mission again, but you are, depending on how powerful you are, the computer matches roughly how powerful you are. So it's still a challenge. But you're trying to go back and rebuild your fleet, and the different kinds of ships are so interesting here. You've got battleships, you've got dreadnoughts, which are massive and really powerful. You've got escort carriers that can each carry like one fighter unit. You've got fleet carriers that can carry 3 fighter units. You've got a fleet command ship, which can kind of coordinate all your ships together. You've got a artillery barrage cruiser, which can just launch kind of an area missile barrage, and then you've got a missile cruiser that just kind of a heavy cruiser, got a missile barrage and just kind of a targeted ship. You've got a little corvette that can just move around really quick and take various. You can use those to get those chips really quickly. They just zip around the board. The other ships are big, lumbering ships. They move a lot slower. You have some cruisers that have like these big, powerful laser weapons. So there's just the variety of ships here is so much fun, and you can go back and create different combinations of fleets, and it's just a lot of fun. It's a great real-time strategy game in VR that just totally immerses you in these space battles. Tremendous fun. I'm loving it. And this game was released, I think, about 4 or 5 years ago. I'm just playing it now, and I know they're coming out with Battle Groups VR 2. I'm really excited about that. I might buy that on day one, because this, to me, is the kind of space combat game I always wanted to play, and it's so great in VR. I really, really love it. On the Cody scale, I'm going to go ahead and give Battle Group VR a 9 out of 10. I think it is a fantastic game. Thank you for joining us today on The Discriminating Gamer. As always, we ask you to please leave a comment for us here on YouTube, on Board Game Geek, on our Facebook page, on X. We'd really love to hear what you have to say. Also, ladies and gentlemen, I would humbly ask you to subscribe to The Discriminating Gamer and like this video. If you really do like what you see on this channel, I would humbly ask you to click on our other channel, my other channel, that is Cody Carlson, PhD, where I talk about history, books on history, fun things like that. I even post some of my lectures up there. Please, it would mean the world to me if you would subscribe to that channel as well. And ladies and gentlemen, if you do really enjoy this channel, I would humbly ask you to click on the Super Thanks button and leave a tip. What do you call an NCO in the Space Force? A Stargent.
Number 7, the Dutch. It's about how Dutch people work and live, and it's not terribly exciting. Number 6,